If we do not ensure the security and the political aspiration of Palestinians being fulfilled, then there is no security for anyone, including Israel and including the rest of the region, but also the world at large. Is a reformed Israeli government. We have an Israeli government that opposes the two-state solution. We have an Israeli government that has officials continuously entice against Palestinians, against Arabs, against Muslims. We don't see that we have a partner for peace, not even a partner for a sustainable ceasefire. So that is the actual and the important reform that we are hoping to see. I want to correct one thing, and I want to say the Global Alliance for the Implementation of the Two-State Solution is an idea that came out after many different diplomatic efforts. Spain has led the way beforehand, and the Global Alliance actually between Norway, Saudi Arabia, and the EU, and even that Saudi Arabia's partner in this as a chair of the Arab OIC. So it brings in a lot of partners into this. And I want to say that the Global Alliance has centered around the idea of implementation and around the fact that almost everyone in the international community agrees that the two-state solution is the only solution forward. So if that is so, then it is asking people what is it that they are going to do to bring this implementation and make it possible. You ask me, is this compatible with the 20-point peace plan? I would say yes, of course, because also the 20-point peace plan was something that Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Indonesia, Pakistan, and Jordan and others have also played a very important role in shaping with the United States. It actually brings hope that there is a peace plan that has the President of the United States be committed to. And we all know that a leader-driven diplomacy is the best diplomacy and the most best way to ensure implementation, which is exactly brings us back to the Global Alliance and the effort that has been put there. And if you see that the 20-point plan does not only address the crisis that is happening in front of us, but it actually talks about Palestinian self-determination, and it talks about a political path, which again is very much aligned with the Global Alliance. We hope that moving forward, first, I think I want to also go back to say that I want to say that the most crucial thing, avoid redefinition and moving, again, very important objectives that the plan laid forward. Whether it is the importance of sequencing or whether it is the importance to realize that, first of all, Gaza is not a case on its own. This is extremely important. Gaza is about the Palestinian conflict. It is not just about Gaza. So we have to be very, very careful about that. And if we talk about security, or if we talk about humanitarian access, or if we talk about the plight of moving from one stage to the other, we cannot do that in absence of the ultimate objective. And the ultimate objective is security for all. It is regional integration, which is embedded in the realization of a Palestinian state. If we don't have that in mind, then there is no plan in the world will be able to drive us not only from one stage to the next, but also to prevent another spiral of violence.
Can I, Minister Espen wants to come in, but I just want to ask you a further question. You seem to imply, or you are suggesting that there should be consequences for any of the actors who seeks to block the process. What kind of consequences are you suggesting? Well,
one important element which I have alluded to, which is we cannot be open to redefinition and renegotiation of what we have already agreed to, and also what was issued as a Security Council resolution that was passed and welcomed by all parties. So we cannot go back and redefine what we mean by ceasefire, what we mean even by disarmament, what we mean by a Palestinian-led process in governing Gaza, also what is implied in unification of Gaza and the West Bank, and the ultimate objective of the Palestinians' right to self-determination. We cannot be redefining these things back and forth and getting ourselves into a sidetrack that gets us into so many details about what, who, when, and we lose sight of the overall and the core of the conflict.
Yeah.
And I want to say that we have seen this movie before. We have seen this cycle before, although the last episode in Gaza was very devastating and maybe the most devastating, but we have arrived at this stage before where there is a war in Gaza, then there is an engagement by the international community, then there is a search for humanitarian assistance, and then political fatigue, and then we forget about it, but only that we could see another more violent cycle of violence erupt. And the idea which is central to this, if we do not ensure the security and the political aspiration of Palestinians being fulfilled, then there is no security for anyone, including Israel and including the rest of the region, but also the world at large.
How do you avoid a situation, Manal, where imposed peace, but one that reflects truly what Palestinians want? How does Saudi see its role in making sure that the peace that comes in is not one that is imposed from the outside, but it lives up to the expectations that you set?
Well, first of all, it needs to be Palestinian-led. The Palestinians need to be front and center. And that is very obvious from all the diplomatic efforts that we are trying to do, and the voice of the Palestinians that we want to carry over everywhere, including with the United States. But let me say one thing about reform, because I think your question is extremely important. Look, the Palestinians have been reforming for the past 30 years. And we have President Mahmoud Abbas had put a robust reform plan that he committed himself to, because this is good for the Palestinians. Saudi Arabia, of course, is committed, and we work on a daily basis with the PA to help in its reform plan. But what we need is actually to really get into a sustainable peace and security, and to end this conflict, and to implement President Trump's 20 peace plan, and to implement the Security Council resolution, is a reformed Israeli government. We have an Israeli government that opposes the two-state solution. We have an Israeli government that has officials continuously entice against Palestinians, against Arabs, against Muslims. We don't see that we have a partner for peace, not even a partner for a sustainable ceasefire. So that is the actual and the important reform that we are hoping to see.